Show. Before I get on out of here, I had to talk about a story that's very, very important. And albeit indirectly, it involves...
Is the WNBA actually trying to self-destruct? Or is this just the most blatant case of corporate jealousy we have ever seen in professional sports? Just when you thought the drama surrounding Caitlin Clark couldn't get any more intense, a new explosion has rocked the league office. And this time, it isn't coming from the players. It is coming from the very top. We're talking about a league that has spent decades begging for viewership, begging for sponsorship, and pleading for mainstream relevance. Yet, now that they have a unicorn who brings all three of those things to the table on a silver platter, the reaction isn't gratitude, it's rage. Reports are surfacing that a new commercial featuring the Indiana Fever rookie has sent WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert and the league's old guard into a tailspin.
But why?
Why would a simple advertisement cause such chaos behind closed doors? Stephen A. Smith has entered the chat, and he is confirming what many of us have suspected. Since the draft, the league is losing control, and they are terrified. They are watching a single player become bigger than the entire organization, and instead of riding the wave, they are reportedly trying to build a dam. We need to talk about the deeper implications here, because this isn't just about a TV spot. This is about a power struggle between a rising supernova and a stagnant establishment that doesn't know how to handle her. It's about the millions of dollars the league is fumbling, the petty resentment that starts in the boardroom and spills onto the court, and the shocking reality that the commissioner might actually be rooting against her own biggest asset. Stephen A. Smith didn't just hint at it. He essentially exposed the entire rot at the core of the WNBA's leadership. Buckle up, because we are diving deep into the commercial that broke the camel's back and the rage that is threatening to tear the league apart. To understand why the commissioner is reportedly seething, you first have to look at the visual evidence and the context of this new media drop. When Caitlin Clark appears in a commercial, whether it's for Wilson, Gatorade, or State Farm, she isn't presented as just a WNBA player or a cog in the machine. She is presented as a cultural icon, a singular force of nature. In this latest spot, the production value is through the roof. It frames her not as a piece of a puzzle, but as the entire picture. She looks powerful, independent, and most importantly, bigger than the league she plays in. For the average viewer, this is awesome. It's hype. It's exciting, and it makes you want to watch basketball. But for the WNBA executives, specifically Cathy Engelbert, this is a nightmare scenario. Why is it a nightmare? Because the league didn't create that image. They didn't authorize it, and they can't control it. When the commissioner sees Clark in these high-gloss ads, she sees a player who doesn't need the WNBA to survive. Clark has her own economy. She has her own gravity. The rage that Stephen A. Smith is alluding to stems from a complete loss of leverage. Usually, a league controls its players because the players need the league for a paycheck and for exposure. Clark has bypassed that dynamic entirely. Insiders suggest that the timing of this commercial is what really set the front office off. The league has been trying desperately to push a collective narrative all season long, constantly reminding us that it's not just about one player. They want you to focus on the history, the other 143 players, and the system. Then boom, this commercial drops and completely obliterates that narrative in 30 seconds flat. It reminds everyone that there is one person driving the bus, and it isn't the commissioner. It's the rookie with the ponytail. The contrast between the league's boring, low-budget marketing and Clark's premier brand deals is embarrassing for the leadership, and that embarrassment is quickly turning into anger. Stephen A. Smith has been the loudest voice in the room when it comes to defending Clark. But his recent comments have taken a darker, more serious turn. He isn't just analyzing basketball stats anymore. He is analyzing the psychology of the executives running the show. SAS recently went on a tear where he confirmed that the vibe coming from the WNBA headquarters isn't one of celebration. It's one of resentment. He pointed out the absurdity of the situation. You have a commissioner who is supposedly a business expert, yet she is acting emotionally compromised because one player is getting too much shine. Smith's argument is that the rage is actually a cover-up for incompetence. He highlighted that every time Clark lands a massive deal or stars in a new viral commercial, It highlights what the WNBA failed to do for 27 years. It's a direct reflection of their failure to grow the game. If you are Kathy Engelbert and you see Gatorade doing a better job of marketing your sport than you are, it stings. It hurts the ego. SAS didn't hold back, suggesting that the leadership is taking this personally. They feel exposed. He also touched on the fact that this anger from the top emboldens the toxicity we see elsewhere in the league. If the commissioner is rolling her eyes at Clark's commercial success, why wouldn't the opposing players feel comfortable taking cheap shots? SAS connected the dots between the boardroom attitude and the locker room attitude. It's a trickle-down effect of jealousy. He basically accused the league of wanting Clark to fail, or at least wanting her to be humbled so they can regain control of the ship. But, as Smith noted, that ship has sailed. The commercial proved that the world is watching Caitlin, not Kathy. Do we have to contextualize this rage within the history of the WNBA to really get the full picture? For years, the league has been run by a specific group of people with a specific mindset. They view the league as a cause, a movement, a collective struggle for recognition. Then comes Caitlin Clark, who represents pure capitalism and individual stardom. She doesn't fit the mold that the old guard built. She disrupts the hierarchy. The commercial in question highlights this disruption perfectly. It shows Clark as a singular force, separated from the pack. The WNBA leadership has spent decades trying to convince the world that the product is the league itself. They sell the shield. Clark's brand partners sell her. This fundamental disagreement is what is causing the friction. The old guard feels disrespected. They feel like all the work they did to build the foundation is being ignored because a girl from Iowa can hit logo threes. Stephen A. Smith pointed out that this is the same energy we saw with the Olympic snub. Leaving Clark off the Team USA roster was a move made by the old guard to protect the hierarchy. They wanted to show that you have to wait your turn. But the commercial deals don't care about waiting your turn. Brands pay for relevance right now. This disconnect between the slow-moving, seniority-based league office and the fast-moving, merit-based world of advertising is causing massive internal conflict. The commissioner is stuck in the middle, and instead of adapting, she's getting angry. And let's talk about the money, because ultimately professional sports is a business. Or at least it's supposed to be. Stephen A. Smith has repeatedly called out the WNBA for committing business malpractice, and the rage over Clark's commercial is the perfect example of this. In a normal league like the NBA or the NFL, when a player gets a massive national commercial, the commissioner pops a bottle of champagne.
Why?
Because it raises the value of the entire enterprise. It brings casual fans to the TV.